Today we're going to build a portable battery power station, and this, along with the tools to build it, will be $300 cheaper than the Jackery 1000. This will also be more versatile, it has a higher power output, and it will age better than the Jackery 1000. This is everything we need for this build, and the price breakdown will be linked down below. So this is a Life Pro battery by Okemo. This is a lithium-ion battery, so it's going to last literally almost forever. And I'll have this link down below for your convenience if you want to check it out. It is a pretty competitively priced Life Pro battery, which is the gold standard for this type of system. And it has 100 amp hours and 1200 kilowatt hours, or 1280 kilowatt hours. This is the main power station for our battery. Only this size battery will fit in this box, which is a 100 amp hour battery. And by plugging this in straight to here, it's only a 12 volt system. So this box is by All Top. It has USB plugs here, has a 12 volt plug here, has on and off. Then it has two of these 50 amp plugs, which can either power something or it can charge the battery with solar panels. And underneath the lid is the important stuff, where it does have a 50 amp fuse on these plugs, which is really important. You want to have that safety feature. So the main gist is to set this battery inside of here. Then we attach these two wires to positive and negative. Then we have a 12 volt system. But we want 120 volt, which is where the inverter comes in, which is more powerful than the Jackery 1000's inverter. So we need to figure out how to mount this inverter and attach a 200 amp fuse between the battery and the inverter. Extra safety, it's important. So on the back, this is where we can install the inverter, right here. But we also want these wires to route inside the battery and connect directly to these terminals. I'm going to put this right in the middle of the box, and then inside, I'm going to drill the holes out from the outside. Let's mock up everything. Okay, so these screws, as you can see, are not long enough. I will not be able to get a nut on the bottom, so I have a little bit longer screws that will work just fine. And they use the same nuts, which is nice. Now we need to do the bottom as well. So this is basically the mock fit of everything. Inverter attached to the side. We got the fuse right here and the battery right here. And I think that's looking pretty dang good. So we need to start attaching the wires from here to the 200 amp fuse, then back to the positive terminal, and then loop the negative back down here. Since all this looks good, I'm now gonna permanently kind of mount all this. Now we need to grab a wire, connect these terminal, the positive to this positive, link it into this 200 amp fuse, then to the positive terminal on the back. This wire did come with the inverter, so that is pretty dang convenient, but we will have to modify this wire. Okay. Actually, you can loop in here and it'll go straight to the terminal. That's fantastic. Okay, to cut right here. Comes out of here, take this off, and plug into here. And it does use an Allen wrench. And screw as much as you can. And now, make sure there's no loose sprigs. All right, so that's positive from the inverter going into the 200 amp fuse. Now we can put on this protective cap. Now we need to go from out here into the battery. Cap back on, okay. Now let's put in the battery. Okay, this is kind of exciting. This is gonna be testing just the 120 volt system so far. I gotta connect the positive first, then the negative. Just gonna touch the negative. Oh, the 200 amp fuse is popped, so I need to fix that. Oh, there you go, 13.4, that is great. Okay, cool. Just gonna pop this 200 amp while I'm plugging it in. Just gonna put it back together. Turn it on, here we have it. So a hair dryer uses a ton of power. So there you go, power's 120. Okay, now we need to set up the 12 volt system. So we need positive and negative. Let's do the positive first. Now we need to do the negative. Be careful not to touch the positive while you're doing this. If you're touching the negative, you do not want to shock yourself. Let's see if the 12 volt system works. There you go, nice. So let's plug in our USB, see if it charges my phone right away. Nice. So it's charging. Now with this setup, it's still charging. Let's turn this on. Oh, right. So this plugged in and charging. Now let's see if this power's on. We're good. Both on. Now let's see if the 12 volt can work at the same time as this power hungry hair dryer. And just like that, we can charge our phone and the air blower, hair dryer, 120 volt, 12 volt. Before you leave, I want to go over why I think this is better than a Jackery. I think the biggest point is that, yeah, it is $300 cheaper than a Jackery, but that's not the biggest point. It's that it is modular. So we can replace this if this goes bad, the inverter, and if or when the battery goes out, you can just replace the battery. You cannot do that with the Jackery. And in long term, replacing the battery for $100, $200, is much cheaper than replacing a whole $800 Jackery. And if you don't want to use the 120 inverter, remove it and you just have a 12 volt system on the go. You could get some solar panels and plug it in that way and charge it up. So the Jackery solar panels cost $499. To set up solar panels with the same wattage, 200 watts, for this is $182. I'll link that down below if you want to use it, and that's with the connectors and everything. To build this, it requires no special tools. Besides something to cut the wire, Phillips, pliers, and an X-Acto knife to cut the sheathing off the wire. Now I'm sure you're wondering, how do I charge this? And do this. Got to get one of these guys, put positive on positive and negative on negative, then plug it in, and that's how you charge it. Pretty dang wicked, if you ask me. If you want to check this out, I have it all linked down below for convenience. This is Chris. Always appreciate and respect one another. I'll see you next time.